flower garden. I found papers in the library saying that they had flowers and stuff for the priests and stuff. And I made sense because there was a water pipe over there. We were wondering why the water pipe was there for. It was for to water the flowers.
Yes.
So as you can see, you have priests. You got the pond, the main other priest. But there's not one stone left for the children. And I know that lady was saying that she thought the homeless were taking them, but why would they only take the Indian children's stones and not the other stones?
Yeah.
If you look here, these are all like priests. These are all priests right here, but they're still there. They're still here.
It started. Do you guys have an idea how that started?
They wanted to assimilate the kids.
Exactly.
Indians?
They wanted to assimilate the kids. But St. Boniface has a deeper story than that. The story runs parallel with Gilman Ranch. Because if you notice, Gilman Ranch is just right over there. And Gilman Ranch you have to understand Gilman Ranch to understand St. Boniface. Gilman Ranch has a natural spring. To this very day, water flows from above Gilman Ranch all the way down to which Banning traps for water. That spring still percolates to this very day. So back in the day, if you can picture all this, there was nothing here. It was basically mountain to mountain, just all flat land. Housing wasn't here, no development. Stagecoach, obviously, that was here for Banning. Some development in Beaumont. So Gilman decided to start a ranch. Well, when you have a ranch, guess what you gotta have next? Water, you gotta have labor, right? Because who's gonna work your ranch? So out here at that time, it was the middle of nowhere. So he's thinking, man, I gotta have some labor to work my ranch, to work my fields, to work my crops.
What year is this?
This was right when the school was built. I don't want to get into years and dates because my memory's not that good, and I don't want to give any misinformation. But you can very easily Google that. But the premise of the story is they made a deal with the Los Angeles diocese, because that time was Los Angeles diocese, and they decided to build an Indian school here. Well, the Indian school was to provide the labor for Gilman Ranch.
Sounds right to me.
Yes. But now, you don't hear that in textbooks, you don't hear that in schools, you don't hear that anywhere. Because this was basically the last of the slave labor, and it lasted for about 20 years. And the original priests were Catholic priests. One of them was Father Hahn, and Father Hahn was buried there right now. His tomb's still there, but the Catholic Church has since exhumed him and took him out of here. So the priests that were worked here at that time are all gone. They just left the original settlers with the natives. But that's how St. Boniface came to play. It was basically a labor camp for Gilman Gilman Ranch, right here, right next door. And so I just wanted to set the premise of why it was established here. So with that, is there any other questions that you guys may have that I can help answer for you?
No, that clears up because my grandma said she was here for a while, not long, but she said all she remembers carrying buckets and buckets and buckets. She didn't say what it was, but she said carried buckets all day long.
Yeah, it was basically a labor camp with indigenous population, and it was strictly for them. And then, obviously, what made this site different from the other sites in Southern California? Obviously, in my opinion, there was probably abuse that some has been documented by stories that are being told, passed down from generation to generation within our own families from different communities. But you won't read that kind of stuff. Now, the Banning Library has a well-documented historical collection of St. Boniface.
Yeah.
And if you call up the Banning Library and you ask to make an appointment, they'll pull the documents and you can sit in the library and read the documentation that they collected over the years. Very, very interesting stuff that they have. And that is probably the best resource in this area that you can educate yourself on St. Boniface and the people that attended here and the stuff that actually went on here. So that just so you guys know. And then this was in limbo for a long time. The Catholic Church owned it. It's always been a headache for the city of Banning, and all the way to the point we have here today. Now, what we have here today is part of the deal, from what I understand, was for them to be able to build homes. They agreed to what's called a top cap. A top cap means that they're going to come in and they're going to raise the grade of the entire project. So that way the homes that they develop don't disturb the ground level disturbance for whatever artifacts or whatever is out there, it stays there. So when they build their homes, they don't disturb the natural soil that was there all these years. And they did that. They raised it, and now they're building their pads, and they're not disturbing the actual ground level of the soil when the project actually started. I do believe that was part of the mitigation process for this development, and that's why it's such higher than the actual grade level, because what's underneath our feet stays underneath our feet, you know, and that's probably a good thing. That's actually probably a good thing. Does anybody else have any questions?